Hello and welcome back to the MMA Split Pick Show slash podcast as we are cramming these two things together, being a little bit late to arrive compared to our usual schedule. I am, of course, your host Matt, joined as always by presenter Josh,
Hello.
who is now present.
Yeah, and again, no slide today, but summer's ending. I think we're going to see a little bit more of him, hopefully. He has sent his
Nobody
picks
saw
in,
this, but I had my fingers crossed. And he has sent his picks in.
and he's made some bold fucking choices.
He knows he can't win. I think he's just picked everything that he wants to happen. And I'll be honest, if what Sly has wants to happen happens, we're in for a fucking fun night. That's all I'm saying.
I've only seen his top pick, but I'm excited to go through the list.
Oh, he's got some good ones. Guys, first and foremost, our apologies being a couple of days late. I had a flight, bunch of other stuff ends up happening. You can't always predict these things. As a result, we are cramming the pick show and the podcast into one extravaganza, which is a shame because there's a lot to talk about UFC Paris, but that is just going to be something we touch on very briefly at the start. Main focus is, of course, UFC 279, Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev, with a tasty co-main event of Tony Ferguson versus Li Jingliang to do picks and predictions for. It is the last week of our pick show season. Josh has won. It is confirmed. I'm in last place. There is nothing on the cards. However, we believe in completion here. So we are still doing picks. Mine are not written down because I didn't really give too much of a fuck. Josh has very quickly written his down.
I've written some.
We've got Slides. We got Slides because he's not here. I'm going to try and write mine down to remember. But to be honest, it really doesn't matter because, yeah, I can't win. I can't lose. I've lost €5. I'm going to have to do some stupid punishment next week that is yet to be decided. That is Josh's decision. He may or may not reveal this in this podcast. That is his choice. He hasn't got to do anything.
I'm not revealing it because I haven't actually figured out what it is yet. It's not going to be something too bad. And obviously, I think you have a right to some degree of veto. You know what I mean? If I'm like, get my face tattooed on your arm, I understand you're going to say, no, I'm not doing that. That would never happen.
Yeah, nothing permanent and nothing that's going to emotionally scar me permanently. Those are the rules.
Yes, those are pretty good rules. Nothing permanent, either emotionally or physically. Of course, everything going out on the internet is to some degree there forever. Apart from, I don't know, like, if anyone could find a link for this, please leave it in the comments. You know John Sitton, the old manager of Leyton Orient and former player, and he was the manager when they did the documentary Leyton Orient for a fiver. He out Neil Warnock for psychotic halftime team talks. He is in a league of his own, and someone took audio of Sitton tearing them apart at halftime and put it over the footage of Admiral Akbar at the end of The Last Jedi. Wait, shit, what's episode 6? A New Hope.
Return of the Jedi.
Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Yeah. At the end of Return of the Jedi. So it's just Sitton syncing up nicely with Akbar. And it's called Sitton Wars. And it seems to have been scrubbed from the fucking internet. I cannot find it for love nor money. Please, internet, help me out. Hook a guy up.
Yeah, I'd want to see that. That sounds quite funny.
It's amazing.
Well, we got a lot to talk about, guys. Please leave a like on the video. If you are enjoying the content, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to say anything, good or bad, all comments are allowed. Hit the subscribe button if you not already are subscribed. Be aware, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be shifting to the channel to a new channel, basically. It's going to be a relaunch called the MMA Split Podcast rather than just the MMA Split. We basically realized we fucked up. We made some mistakes when we first did this YouTube thing, and this is a chance to kind of make a fresh start. So we'll be posting a video about the details, leaving links and how you can find the new channel. And obviously, all you guys that are enjoying the content, jump along to the new relaunch when it happens.
Yeah, and if you want to see more live episodes and watch-alongs, drop us some comments. I don't know how many people actually did. It's possible that we had some viewers on that. I know a few people watched it back on YouTube as well. If you enjoyed that, let us know.
And apologies, we did figure out that you can't have any volume, so we had to delete it because a good 15 minutes was very audible of pretty much every word of commentary. But we have learned from that mistake, and I'm home. So audio quality and internet is going to be better. With that all out of the way, before we discuss a card that people think has got more bad decisions made in terms of fight booking than was made in the remaking of Lord of the Rings for Amazon Prime's TV show, let's quickly discuss UFC Paris. It's fucking great fights, mate. I mean, every fight kind of was just like a dirty, scrappy, both guys landing, absolute war. Apart from really Whitaker, who just completely outclassed Vittori, and a couple of standouts on the prelims who, had some really impressive knockouts and finishes. But let's talk about the main event. Listen, Garn was obviously the better fighter throughout the time that the fight went on, but fuck me, Ty's good. And he can land. He can pick those moments and he can set traps, and the hands are quick enough, and he'll throw that shot after the first two that catches a guy like Garn. Really, for me, this was just a few little mistakes, and obviously Garn just being as technically brilliant as he is.
Yeah, and Ty had him in trouble there, and we did say we predicted that Garn hadn't been up against a guy like this. Ty was maybe going to have a little bit of success, being kind of like a unique look, a unique approach to the fight than Garn's kind of seen before. I thought Ty did a really great job. Obviously, I'm just having a look at the stats now because our boy Sly in here. Garn outlanded him 3-1. Fucking impressive. And what a knockout. What a fucking knockout. Do you see what JDS said about this?
I agree with him. And I want to just say a little moment about this. Obviously, say your point first, but I have something to say on this.
I don't have a problem with Garn's striking against JDS because JDS is turning away. On this one, it's a little different. And yeah, technically, illegal strike. We should have the sport at a standard at some point where stuff like this, like the VAR technology, when it's sped up to the point when people are good enough at it, then it can more or less be an instantaneous thing. Potentially, we could take a look at sort of things like this. I think it's very hard to expect the ref to kind of catch that in that moment. It is a finishing sequence. He already had him on Queer Street. It was just felt like a matter of time. But yeah, letter of the law, technically, that is an illegal strike. And a kind of the way he kind of went to throw it, it was like he just thought maybe he was going to catch him like on the ear or just behind the ear with it. Just a weirdly sloppy moment from Garn, I thought.
So Garn is not a guy that grew up doing martial arts from a young age. And he's not a guy that grew up just getting into fights on the street. And so I think when it comes to some of these wilder moments, and I think in the finishes, this is why you see these fouls in two instances from Cyril Garn. Although the JDS one, he's turning away, I kind of understand that a little bit more. You are responsible for your weapons when you're in the octagon. It is your responsibility to make sure that you're not throwing anything that's going to land where it's not supposed to. So it is Garn's responsibility. And it shows a little naivety because when it gets to those moments, he's not that John Jones, cool, calm, setting up and delivering the finish. It's this frantic, I've done all the hard work, now I just need to rush in and blitz the guy. And it's that carelessness that's making this land. I'm not saying it makes a difference, but Ty's got a chin like no other. You can't tell me that a shot to the back of the head that hard wasn't a huge factor in him finally going down. And maybe it makes no difference. Maybe he lands 2 legal shots and finishes Ty with no issues. Maybe Ty throws a haymaker because he's not as rocked from a shot hitting him in the back of the head as somewhere else, and he rocks Garn again. So you remove the opportunity to see what would have happened. And the reason why these things need to be picked up is that a better ref, and a ref that is, that notices it, will stop that fight and call the timeout. And so for Garn, if you don't adjust these things, and if you keep getting away with it, it's very unlikely that you're going to change because you don't think you're doing anything wrong. But what if the next fight is your title fight and you've almost finished Ngannou, and you have somebody like Jason Herzog as ref or Chris Tognoni as ref that's very sharp on back of the head shots, and you're about to finish Ngannou, you strike him in the back of the head, all of a sudden it's timeout, the other guy's got 5 minutes to recover. So it's not just for the sake of Ty that it needs to be improved. It's for the sake of you know, it's one of those things that's going to get you eventually if you don't correct it.
Yeah. Um, in the event of a championship fight, that is going to be a huge fucking deal. For this one, just with the way the fight had kind of already gone, if it had just finished up a no contest, it would have been kind of like Rocky Bilal. It wouldn't really slow Garn down. People would still be like, okay, he is the clear number one contender until we see John Jones. So, and obviously, if Stipe beats Jones, then he's no longer the clear number one contender. But just in the current, climate with Jones and Stipe kind of waiting to happen, he is number one. And whether they catch the shot and end up ruling it a no contest or not, it wouldn't really make too much of a difference on this one. Obviously, you do that in a fight that you need to win. It's not just a matter of maintaining your ranking or your number one contender spot. It is a fucking issue.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not saying it changes the result. I'm just interested in, for a guy like Ty, some of the shots he fucking took, man, to the stomach, that head kick to the head, a guy like that deserves to have every legal opportunity to hang in there, and it just kind of sucks that for a fight that's
that
so
shot
good.
did set up the left hook that came in before, because you can kind of see him kind of jolt, and sometimes it's those awkward shots that you're not prepared for. And the left hook wasn't an awkward shot, but the position he kind of put himself in after kind of reacting very quickly to that back of the head shot, it made it a more impactful shot. The following strike. So
You just don't want questions. You don't want asterisks on these things, man. For Garn's sake and for Ty's sake, you want to look back and go, no issues, no questions. You don't want to look back and go, I always think, like, imagine if Usman had not been kicked in the head by Leon, and we'd be talking about like the liver shot, where it's like, man, like what would have happened if that got picked up as a liver shot correctly?
yeah,
You know what I mean? It just leaves these bitter tastes in your mouth, and um, it was the only blemish on a fucking outstanding card, man. Because let's move talk to the co-main event. I think we thought Whitaker was going to win, but Jesus fucking Christ, was he good? I mean, he was just so much better than Vettori.
yeah. This was pre Adesanya, pre Yoel Romero Whitaker. Just so much swagger, so much confidence, such a steely nerve, no mistakes, and
kind of close first round, but to be honest, like it never really felt like that was an issue. It always just felt like, okay, he's getting his reads, and rounds 2 and 3 are going to look ugly. And to be honest, for me, I felt like, and we talked about this on our Watchalong, which unfortunately you cannot rewatch, but future ones you will be able to. Once Vettori just couldn't get the takedown, once the like couple of takedown setups and couple of clinches he went were just nullified so easily with movements and positioning and all the rest, I think it just broke his confidence. I think it was like, fuck, man, like I don't have this guy's footwork. I'm not catching this guy. I'm not, even if I attempt, like at least with Adesanya, I could get underneath him. I could get him standing still. I was able to take him down even if he just kind of reversed me and stood back up. With Robert, it's like I didn't even have the sniff of a takedown. And I thought Rob was going to finish him at the end. I got to be honest, he looked on wobbly legs and I was like, man, that chin of Vettori, if this was going 5 rounds, I think Vettori was out of there rounds 4 and 5.
Oh, for sure. And I've had a hell of a week, so I'm not really up to date on social media and the news. Has Vettori claimed to have won this fight yet?
No. Some asshole made a website or wrote something saying, mistranslating what he said in Italian, saying that he said, "This is bullshit. I don't care what anyone says. I won that 30-27." And that's not what he said. But it is funny that joke, because of Vettori and who he is, people actually believe that might be a likely explanation of what he said. Like, that wasn't surprising to people. You know what I mean? But no, he thanked the crowd and he said, guys, thanks for coming out. I think he said sorry. And he said, even in defeat, make some noise.
Nice. I saw Adesanya trolled him as well.
Listen, man, when you're beaten like that, it's almost worse than a knockout because there's no question. It's like there's nothing you can point at to go, you've just been clinically outclassed.
Yeah, you can't say like, oh, it was just one moment in a fight. That is just a clear gap in talent and technique.
Yeah. Tell you what, Rob could be champion in a year's time. There's a
If
very clear
Pereira
narrative.
wins.
Yeah. If Pereira wins. That's a big if. We're not on that pay-per-view yet.
Mm.
We're on the pay-per-view before that pay-per-view. In fact, there's two pay-per-views before that happens, so plenty of time. But let's talk about 279. Let's get this out of the way. Obviously, this fight's ridiculous. Obviously, there's no reason that this fight should be put together. It's a fucking joke. It's an insult to Nate Diaz. It's the last fight in his contract. He should be fighting Poirier, Ferguson, another lightweight that he fights at welterweight
Yeah.
that he still probably loses to, but he gets to look like Nate Diaz. Um, I know he went 5 rounds with Leon, but I kind of feel like Leon Edwards talked about it himself. He got bored. I think he really respects Nate Diaz. I don't think Leon really wanted to beat the fuck out of him. I think he wanted the rounds because he hadn't been in there. I think for him, he looked at it and said 5 good rounds is better than 2 rounds and a knockout. So,
Also, the way the fight was going, he didn't need to take these risks. Obviously, switching off
yeah.
too much at the end was a bigger risk in itself, but it didn't matter ultimately.
Yeah, and he learned that. Fucking hell, he learned that. Talk about turning the tables in his last fight. Leon Edwards is the only welterweight who's actually a welterweight that Nate Diaz has fought at welterweight since he fought Rory McDonald. And people don't remember that, like, when Nate Diaz fights real welterweights, it's not pretty. It's not
Nah,
pretty at all.
McDonald did ragdoll him. Although I will say he is a bit bigger these days. That was like he was basically just trying to fight at welterweight, not cutting weight at all. And now he has put on like a little bit more muscle. It's still the size difference between the two is going to be phenomenal.
Well, he's fighting a middleweight that, through miracles of science and nutrition, is going to be fighting at welterweight for at least a few more fights in his career. He's the number 3 ranked guy in the world. He's undefeated, and he's fighting a guy that is unranked. I mean, for a title shot, for a guaranteed place in the line title shot, basically. This doesn't make a lot of sense. It does prove that Nate Diaz is the ultimate gatekeeper because everybody that beats him gets a title shot.
I tell you what though, I think he's going to surprise you. I don't think he's going to win,
Yeah.
but I think this one's going to go the distance.
Well, I disagree with you.
Look, I'm not saying it's definitely going the distance. Obviously, Hamzat Chimaev is a very very dangerous guy, but particularly in the early rounds, and he hasn't fought. He hasn't fought like a top striker, but he hasn't fought really a decent MMA striker. You know, honestly, probably the most credentialed striker I've seen him fight would be like fucking Phillips or McKee or someone. And while they are dangerous in their own ways, it doesn't necessarily translate to MMA very effectively. And, you know, they just got absolutely smashed. If Nate can get out of the first 2 rounds, I think it's going the distance. His cardio is infinitely better than Hamzat's. He's never been the same since COVID. He admits it himself. The Burns fight showed me the over-aggressive nature. When it doesn't pay off, it does mean he is burning a phenomenal amount of energy. I just think Nate's got a chance here of getting out the first couple of rounds. And if that happens, I feel pretty good that it's going the distance.
So this is what I feel. I really want to believe that Nate Diaz's jiu-jitsu off his back is enough of a viable threat the way that Gilbert Burns's was to keep the fight standing. Because if the fight's standing, there is always the hypothetical possibility that Nate Diaz just fucking eats everything that gets thrown at him, survives it all, takes it like the tough motherfucker he is, and finds a shot. The problem I have with this is I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to get taken down pretty quickly. I don't think he's going to be strong enough to get Chimaev off him. I don't think his jiu-jitsu is going to be aggressive enough to present anything that's going to make Chimaev not want to keep going at him. And I think eventually he's going to get TKO'd or subbed. In fact, specifically, I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to make a point to probably slap him like 20 times when he's got him in like half a full guard or with a single collar tie or, some dominant position. Probably fuck around with him a little bit and most likely choke him out. And it's not going to be, Gilbert Burns is a pocket rocket. And the guy might not be the most technical striker. And even so, I thought, he showed more technique in his striking than Khamzat did in that fight. But the key thing that happened for Gilbert Burns is that when Khamzat took him down, he was able to be aggressive enough with arm bars and triangles that Khamzat went, fuck that, I'm not doing that. I don't know. Like, I've seen too many people hold and control Nate Diaz on the ground, him not be able to do that, anything about it at lightweight. So I don't see how he wins this, and I don't see him surviving 10 minutes. I just don't.
I'll tell you, the one thing I think he's really got going for him is that he fights long very effectively. And the fact that he is always going for volume over power, he throws a beautiful 1-2. It's one of the best 1-2s I've seen. Okay, and it's such a bread and butter kind of combination that a lot of people just assume that they're good at reacting to it and dealing with it. He puts his 2 right behind the 1. Sometimes he mixes it up, but it's all very, very nice and crisp and clean. I think he might be able to just keep the fight on the feet just from how effective he can be fighting long. But that fucking size difference. So I'm just saying, that's just like the one little thing. That's my little glimmer of hope that I think Nate can throw some wrinkles into this fight for Khamzat. I don't know how he's going to deal with his boxing. He is going to win this fight. But I just think Nate, if he gets out of them first 2 rounds, he's still going to be in for a bit of a bad time. But I think he might be able to take him a distance.
I don't know if this is a fight you want to go 5 rounds on, man. Like, you lose this fight in 6 minutes. You still get paid the same amount of money. You get to go off and probably box Jake Paul. And you've taken like 5 minutes of damage and maybe been choked out. I don't know if I want to see Nate Diaz lose 25 minutes of this fight.
Yeah, the other thing is, Joe Rogan loves to talk about scar tissue and shit. It doesn't really matter. But if he does get another nasty cut in his eye, that'll probably fucking be it. And this could very well be the last Nate Diaz fight we ever see, because he's going to turn his hand at promoting instead now. Which is interesting, because Nick had a lot of frustration with War MMA. So I don't know if he's just kind of learned from Nick's mistakes. Sort of taken on all the lessons that Nick acquired and things that you can really make a go of it now. Plus, MMA is a lot bigger than it was.
I was about to say.
Like, way fucking bigger.
I was about to say. Yeah, I really want Nate to win this. I think it'd be fucking hilarious if he does, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to be close. I'm going Khamzat by sub.
Khamzat by decision. And Sly, the little malcontent, is gone. Diaz KO.
Yeah, he just doesn't give a fuck, does he? He just doesn't give a fuck.
Fucking Diaz doesn't really finish people.
No. Let's talk about the next bad decision on this card. This isn't as bad a decision, though. Tony Ferguson at welterweight taking on Li Jingliang. I don't hate this. I really don't hate this. Because if Tony said he wanted to move up, you can't give him a nobody. There's no easy fights. He's not going to be wrestled by Li Jingliang. It's a fucking hard-hitting guy to fight, though, after you got knocked out 4 months ago, though. That's where I don't like it. I don't know if this is too soon for Tony.
I mean, that's the problem with Tony. It's always too soon. But with his body and his age, like, I don't know how many more fights he plans on taking, or if he actually thinks that he's going to make a run at 170. But I guess in that sense, fuck it, why not? I think it's a fun fight. I don't know how much Li Jingliang's really going to put it on him either. I think he's going to be content to just sort of win this fight with a grapple-heavy approach. And with basically no fucking knees left, can Tony still pull out a rubber guard? Can he Still get those wild up kicks off. Can he be as violent and dangerous as he's always been on the ground? Or is this just kind of a bridge too far? I mean, shit. We've talked about before the Leech. No joke. He is a very top level competitor, even if Hamzat did run through him. It's just why Chimaev's as impressive as he is. I fucking love Tony. I really want to get that T. Fergans catchphrase going.
I know, we tried.
And he kept fucking losing. I don't like this one. Let's start with who's Sly picked.
Sly's picked Lee. He's picked Lee by KO.
Oh, damn, I was hoping he was going to be fun and go Fergie.
I know, I thought that as well.
I have quickly written this one down, but I've forgotten where I wrote. I'm pretty sure I went decision.
Give me a sec. Just switching my fan off. I'm worried it might be creating a lot of noise.
No worries. Yeah, I'm going to go the Leech by decision. In a lot of ways, I kind of hope I'm wrong. I hope we get a finish because this is a really wild competitive fight. My worry is that this is just going to be a kind of a by the numbers. Leech just take down, damage, hold, stand up, repeat.
Leech isn't taking him down, mate. Leech is going to stand there, box him, wing chun him, probably have some... The problem is Leech is one of these guys that he wants to have great fights on his resume. He wants to fight the guys that he respects. He talks about this with Muslim Salikov, how much he respects this guy, and that's why he wanted to fight him. He has a huge amount of respect for Tony Ferguson. He is not going to take this guy down. He is going to stand there and trade with him. And he has every reason to, because he's bigger, he's stronger, he's younger, he's impossible to knock out, and he's fighting a guy that, although certainly did a lot of damage on the feet at lightweight, and I know that when he was at welterweight, he had those knockouts, and it does look like his power translates a little bit better, but that was a younger Tony. I don't think Leech is going to be afraid of him. I'm going to Leech KO.
I hope you're right and I'm wrong, but I just think Leech will just see that Tony doesn't have much to offer him from his back, and it's just like the safe route to victory. I'm going Leech to see. Oh, I've already fucking moved. I'm so sleepy.
Don't worry.
Shy.
Just to confirm, Sly did go for Lee as well. He went for Lee decision, so he's agreeing with you. And most fun fight on the card coming up, in my opinion, Kevin Holland versus D-Rod. This is both brilliant and heartbreaking because I really like both of these guys. I don't want to see anybody lose. You don't get a lot of draws. Draw doesn't really help anybody. And this is a dangerous fight for Kevin Holland because there's a lot of people that could argue D-Rod's never lost. He's got 2 split decision losses. Both of them are those like, did he lose? Did he not? I've never seen him hurt. I've never seen him rocked. Holland makes mistakes. He's a little wild. He sometimes gets caught before he starts getting technical. But then again, D-Rod is a little plodding. He's a little slow. He's not as explosive. He kind of likes to march guys down. This is a really fucking good fight, man. It's a hard one to call. I'm going Kevin Holland because I love Kevin Holland. And I'm going decision. But could D-Rod win this? 100%. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm going D-Rod decision. The Dolby one, I think it was a close fight. I think it was a unanimous decision. But yeah, D-Rod's looking pretty fucking good. I'm seeing big strides in his game. Sort of every couple of camps or so, and just a fun fight. Definitely a fun fight. Can the Trailblazer find a finish? I don't know. Possibly. I've gone back and forth with this so many times. Sticking with D-Rod decision. I've written it down. I'm too lazy to delete it.
Sly has gone for a Holland KO. I'm agreeing with him on Holland. D-Rod's a tough guy to knock out, man. If Holland gets the finish, sub, or knockout, that's impressive. And that's, let's see, a top 15 fight. Kind of impressive. Time will tell. Next fight up, Irene Aldana is back and taking on Macy Chaisson. It's a good matchup. I do feel like Aldana should not lose this. She really should not lose this. She's a good boxer. Chaisson's not a good enough wrestler to do what Ketlen Vieira did to her in principle. I can't imagine Aldana not winning this. She's got genuine knockout power. her biggest battle is going to be the scale. I'm going Aldana decision.
Yep. The only thing I kind of went back and forth on is do I go Aldana KO or Aldana decision? I'm going the same way as you. Have we got a carpool going?
We're carpool. We're all carpooling on Aldana.
Safe. All going the same way. All right. Yeah. I'm kind of a little excited for that fight as well, to be honest. This is a pretty solid card. It's not like the most exciting of cards on paper. Like it's not the biggest name value, but there are some fucking decent ones.
Well, I'll tell you what they've done. It's fun fights.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun fights. It's like somebody let their 12-year-old into the matchmaking room, and they were just like, dude, what if the Leech fought Tony Ferguson? What if Nate Diaz fought Hamzat? And talking about an next fight, what if the two glass cannons of light heavyweight match each other for a he who strikes first wins battle? I don't know if anybody ever played Tekken, but if you have and you know the first shot or the one-shot KO mode, this is Johnny Walker versus Iwan Kutalaba.
I think you're doing Kutalaba a little dirty there. It's when you get the oh fuck, who knocked him out last? Ankalaev had one solid knockout against him, and one where the ref just kind of shit the bed a bit. I think is that his. I think it might be his only knockout. Oh shit, Span, of course, the last one. Yeah, that was a guillotine choke.
Yeah, but it was after he fucked him up.
Super Span's got superpowers sometimes. I don't know. I don't know if I'll go glass cannon on Kutalaba. And he hits a lot fucking harder than Walker does.
Does he?
Yeah, Walker can find some nice shots, and that elbow against Khalil Roundtree was next fucking level. But Kutalaba has more power than technique, and when he hits clean, people fucking bend, you know. He's got some serious heavy hands. Johnny's just kind of got... I mean, he has got a good amount of power, but he's just got some nice weapons. He's got some nice techniques, the kicks, the elbows. And if he gets in really close and tries to land a lot, Kutalaba is not going to have a hard time finding a target. I think this one's Kutalaba by KO. Oh,
I agree with you.
The Moldovan Hulk, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's the Iranian... I don't know what he calls himself. But yeah, Hulk. It's something with Hulk. I think maybe just Hulk.
It is the Hulk. But he is also from Moldova. I think I always used to think he was Romanian. I'm an idiot.
He's in many ways, he's a way shitter fighter than Johnny Walker. But he's also been wrestling a lot recently. And I actually think that's where he's going to have his success, is through the wrestling. I think it's going to make Johnny Walker think. It's going to force him to use energy he doesn't want to use. And yeah, I think Kutalaba's going to win. I think he's going to manhandle him and get a TKO victory. Yeah. Sly thinks Walker's going to knock him out.
I'm not saying it can't happen. I just think it's odds on that Kutalaba's going to fuck him up.
It's... Either could happen. I'm still sticking with my glass cannon theory, but we will see on Saturday night. Prelims, we're going to go through these a bit more quickly, but some really fun fights. Hakeem Dawodu taking on Juicy J, Julian Erosa. Loves me some Juicy J. Always fun in a fight. Dawodu's pretty good, man. Like, I think he's just on that cusp of kind of starting to break into the, real significant numbered ranks.
Yeah,
Royce is getting a bit older. This is more of a test. I think Dawodu's got this. I'm going to say Dawodu decision.
Yeah, this is kind of like his first big step up since Evloev, but Juicy J is nowhere near as good as Movsar Evloev, so I got to go with Dawodu.
He didn't do badly against Evloev, Dawodu.
No, it wasn't terrible. Juicy J is such an exciting. And he is a dangerous guy. This guy can finish you on the feet. This guy can finish you on the ground. But he has a very awkward approach, very opportunistic. And the trade-off there is that his technique is not great. If Dawodu can fight a nice, clinical, focused fight, I just think he's got it in the bag.
I agree with you. Sly does not. He's going Erosa by sub. And Erosa's got some slick jiu-jitsu, so that could happen. Next fight, Catchweight fight, Gelton Almeida has got a short notice replacement step in of Anton Turkalj. I can't remember who is meant to fight. Can you?
Nah, let me bring it up. Oh shit, Maxim Grishin. That would have been fun.
That would have been fun. Turkalj is undefeated, but I can't look past Gelton Almeida. The guy's looked pretty scary since he's come in. I'm saying Almeida by sub.
Shit, and then actually he was supposed to fight Abdurakimov. I don't know when Grisham withdrew. That one was actually back in May. So it was supposed to be Abdurakimov. He had visa issues, so yeah. Let's fucking go. I think easy pick. I'm gonna go Gelton Almeida just because I haven't seen this dude. Ah shit, I need to watch Contender Series. I haven't watched any this season at all, and we've got another dude coming in off Contender Series. So shame.
It's on our
on
relaunch
me.
notes.
So
It's on our relaunch notes, fans. Don't worry. We'll be addressing Contender Series.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Yeah. What's your method? Are you picking sub, KO, or decision?
Fuck. I'm gonna go KO, but
Okay.
oh, do I go sub? I'm gonna go sub.
Okay. Well, all three of us are going Almeida by sub. Carpooling on that one.
Yeah.
Dennis Teoleolin versus Jamie Pickett. I don't care about this fight. I have no interest in it. I thought I was going to pick Teoleolin, but I hate that name, so I'm picking Pickett by decision because he has this way of winning fights badly by decision.
Yeah. Despite the way his name tries to lure me in, Jamie Pickett, I'm not picking him. I'm going to go Teoleolin. I only see him fight once against the Black Wolf. Lost. Didn't look too bad. Teoleolin by decision. Yeah.
And Sly is going Pickett by KO. Bold pick there. Okay. Fat man fight. Heavyweights. Chris Barnett. Bundle of fun he always is. Taking on Jake Collier. He used to be a middleweight. Got big. Started doing well. Fair play to the guy. Everything in my mind tells me that Jake Collier is going to win this fight. I do not want that to happen. So I'm going to pick Chris Barnett by spinning head kick knockout because I think it would be way more fun.
Well, I thought he did win the Arlovsky fight, but either way, it continues that win-loss pattern he's had going for so long. So, technically due a win. I'm going to go Collier. I'm going to go decision. Writing these as I go. So professional.
Sly has gone for Barnett by KO.
I genuinely hope I'm wrong on that one. Chris Barnett is so much fun.
He is good. That takes us to... Oh my god, what a joke. Women's featherweight. 7-2 featherweight, effectively number one contender, Norma Dumont. Taking on debutante Danielle Wolf, who apparently has a 1-0 record.
Yeah, I think she's also 38, and again, I think that one fight is the Contender Series. Haven't done my homework this week. I don't know, like, why your first professional fight is
to get into the UFC.
Yeah. So let me quick Google who Danielle Wolf actually is, because there's got to be a story here.
Do you think they just put like a Craigslisting out for anybody that might be willing to fight Amanda Nunes at featherweight?
Pretty much, yeah. Background is boxer, amateur boxer. As the women's eliminated from the Olympic trials in boxing and moved over to mixed martial arts. All right, Norma.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be Norma. I can't look past Norma. What's its Sly pick?
Bring that up. I'm gonna go decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna go decision. She's not a finisher, Norma.
Yeah. Carpool, baby. We're going the same way. Slow, demoted by decision.
What's our next fight? Sorry, my phone's being weird.
No worries. Mine order's a little fucked up, but I believe going off of Sly's picks, next one's Chad and Heliger against Haley Alatang.
Yep, makes
Um,
sense. Haley Alatang for me, knockout.
yeah, I'm trying to remember Angalia. I've definitely seen him fight. Back in February, was it? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Alatang decision. Sly went Alatang KO.
Boom. Next
Right.
fight, I think Elise Reed, Melissa Martinez.
Could well be. What's Sly saying? Yep. Sly saying it's Elise Reed against Melissa Martinez. Uh, he has gone Reed by decision. I'm actually, I'm going to let myself be swayed a little bit by the hype, the undefeated
And the
record,
undefeated record.
and
Yeah, I was going to say
the
the same
betting
thing.
line. So I'm going to go with Martinez, and she is a finisher, but Elise Reed's not exactly a can. Martinez decision feels like a reasonable choice.
I'm going Martinez sub. And that basically leaves Darian Weeks versus Johan Lanus. Both guys had their moments. Wasn't overly impressed with Weeks against Gary. I'm going to go Lanus by decision.
So a little think. Let's see what Sly picks as well. He's going Weeks KO. Lioness lost to Gabe Green. Pretty sure that's why he's gone Weeks KO. Ah, flip of a coin. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna go Lioness decision.
That's the card. It's a fun card. Although it's definitely a fight night. Let's be honest. It's a fight night bar the top 3 fights.
Yeah. Although it could still play out like a pay-per-view, and ultimately, if this is Nate Diaz's retirement, it kind of justifies the purchase. And I am also going to be buying this legally. I think
as am I.
Unbelievable that.
Although we're not going to be doing a Twitch stream because Josh watches them on Sunday morning, and I am not going to do it at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm that tired because I just won't talk and I'll be on my own. So there's no point. But we will be talking about everything that happens in the fights next week on our podcast, released as standard in the late evening of Monday night. Unless you're in America, in which case you get it Monday afternoon. So Americans, start watching our show because Monday afternoon's a nice time to have something drop. You know, you're coming home from work, stick on the MMA Split podcast, hear 2 stoned assholes who have never fought in the UFC or in an octagon giving their opinion on professional sport.
Yeah, as it should be.
Goddamn right. And on that note, we're going to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the fights this weekend. Look out for the NFL kicking off as well. As you know, we do like the NFL here. And both of our teams quarterbacks are looking like they might have a breakout year. So plenty of excitement on the horizon. Guys, as always, by Dave, by Laurie, by Trifo.
Bye, Laurie. Bye, Dave.